Hello, greetings, and welcome to another episode of the Dragons of Creative Writing. Now, Andarn moves to one side as the second of my three friends takes the stage. By this time, 5 wooden chairs have been put in place so that Ferdinand's troupe can sit down during the unveiling of the assembly line way. 2 of these chairs have higher seats, and you and Ferdinand sit on them like the king and queen of storytelling. Andiron, the prophet, now sits to your right. The other 2 chairs are empty. Shrift, I think, will sit in one of the empty chairs, and my other friend, the heavy one, will be the next to speak. I wonder how I met all 3 men and did not recognize them for the great leaders they no doubt are. The dead dragon, known as the Dragon of Separation, is far from my mind. His sacred lessons, too, are dead, replaced by what Andiron has called the assembly line way. What strange circumstances I have come upon. In search of the third dragon, I have come instead upon a village of writers gathered around a man who has destroyed it, that very same beast. Until now, every writer who has ever sought greatness has gone in search of the dragons of creativity to learn. Now, the great Ferdinand has not only slain this dragon, he has surrounded himself with the prophets of a new way and with the woman I love. I am in awe of Ferdinand. He now has everything I ever dreamed of having, including you. The bald man takes the steps to the platform like a conqueror seizing a kingdom. I see now that he does not lack confidence, and I wonder that I did not notice this before. Was I so wrapped up in my own quest for you and our sacred dragons that I lost track of the world and people about me? I, he announces, am Brother Shrift. After a moment of uncomfortable silence, we break into spontaneous applause. Silence, he says. We have not much time. Time, I tell you, is money. He surveys us as though expecting a challenge. I would like to challenge him, but I am only an apprentice storyteller. I've come on this journey to learn the art. Reluctantly, I keep silent. When I look past you, I see that you are looking at me from your seat next to the great Ferdinand. Your cheeks flush and you look away from me. It pleases me that you look away from Ferdinand instead of toward him. When Andiron told me his 2 visions, says Brother Shrift, he and Ferdinand asked how writers of tales could make their way into the city of writers' gold. Let me waste not a second more before I tell you that there are 3 secret strategies to accomplishing this. The first is economy. The second is what I call the cookie cutter. The third is perhaps the most wonderful of them all, which I call the same differently. Shrift spoke quickly, as though trying to stay ahead of the plague. He does not himself bother to introduce himself or walk about the stage trying to address his full audience. Indeed, I wonder if he's even aware that we are here at all. But I put these things aside, for he is, according to Andiron, the master strategist who has shown Ferdinand, the dragon slayer, and soon to be the greatest writer of all time, how to make real the assembly line way. Of course, it is the way to enter the writer's city of gold. What is economy? Said Brother Shrift. You ask? I would wait for you to ask, but that would take too long. Economy is the first secret strategy of the assembly line way. Economy is a writing technique without equal. Henceforth, no one shall be allowed to question this. To question the value and beauty of economical writing is not the assembly line way. Economy will help you give your readers less than your vision demands so that you can stay within something that will someday be known as word limits. Word limits must provide the framework for our writing. Never must our stories define our word limits. Word limits are good because they are the assembly line way. Therefore, all readers and writers must be forced to agree that whoever does not believe economy is the key to good writing must be dropped into the pit. I say again, they must be dropped into the pit. Extra words represent waste. Every reader's experience must be based on use of the least words, and stories must be presented in the least amount of time. Do you all agree? I tried to think this through. As I did so, I looked around at some other assembled writers who seemed to be struggling with Shrift's short statements. An idea occurred to me, and I was about to voice it, but I was too late. "Your time is up," said Brother Shrift, "just as is that of your readers. To you, and perhaps to your readers, it might be important to take the time to empathize, perhaps sympathize or grow accustomed to what is going on in your story so that it might become part of your reader's heart. But the law of economy says that we must use only the bare minimum amount of words to tell our story. The least must give the most, although in the real world we would expect he or she with the most warriors behind their cause to carry the day. The principle of economy turns this idea on its head. The least must be victorious over the most. It is not likely, but we must embrace this idea in all our stories because otherwise we cannot write many stories. It is necessary to write many stories to become wealthy. Keep moving, sell more. Have you questions?" "Yes," I say. "Too late," says Brother Shrift. "Fewer questions are better than more. Don't you agree?" "Well," I began. "Too late," said Brother Shrift. "And you must think this way about your stories. We have the idea now that what seems unnecessary immediately in a story will never resonate or enrich a reader. First glance must be the only glance. Are you with me? After all, we are hesitant." "Too late," says Brother Shrift. "I am in a hurry and wish to use as few words as possible to solicit your empathy, to seize in your interest and solicit your carings. This is how you must treat your readers, too. Economy is above all else economy. Why, you ask? Go ahead, all of you, ask me. Why is that, Brother Shrift?" we hurry to put in. "Because," he says, "it makes more money. Why waste your words on readers? That would mean spending time with them and caring about their feelings. One size must fit all, and it must be the smallest size possible. Do you think I am called short shrift for nothing?" Actually, it is at this moment that I decide to walk away. My readers and listeners are important to me. I want to spend time with them. I want to talk to them. It has never occurred to me that they are thinking, "Get to the point and get to it quick." If this is truly what is good for them, I wonder if I want to talk to them at all. I wonder if I truly am happy listening to Shrift and Andiron before him. But there is the matter of Andiron's gold coin. Embarrassed at my desire not to be shallow, I pay more attention to Shrift. After all, who can disagree that he and Andiron encouraged Ferdinand to slay a sacred dragon of writing? And again, there is the gold. "I would tell you more about economy," says Shrift, "but that would take time. Perhaps you would like me to take more time, the way that many readers want a storyteller to love them enough to give them enough words that they, the listener, can make decisions. But that is not economical thinking. Economy, economy, economy. Do you agree?" Without thinking, I make the foolish mistake of letting the question sink in. "No," shouts Shrift, "you must not agree. Don't think that my use of the word economy 3 times gives you time to let economy sink in. That is not economical at all. 1 time is enough." "But," begins the lady at the back. "You are wasting time thinking," says Brother Shrift. "The fewer words, the better. The tighter the description, the better. Forget the reader and their need for your time. Be economical so that you can make more money by doing less work. Some of you might think it is more work to use fewer words to say more. Why puff yourselves up? What takes more work to build? A small hut or a turreted castle? Castles, of course. Complex castles are works of art and are infinitely harder to construct than economical huts. But we will make more money constructing huts. This is the law of economy." We stand silent and cowed, gathered in the center of this writer's village. To question Shrift in depth would not be economical. "Be stingy," he says, "with your words, and you will be able to create more stories. Now on to the grand strategy of using a cookie cutter as our guide to storytelling." A woman in the back raises her hand. Shrift looks the other way. She speaks her mind anyway. "What if heaven," she says, "created forests in this way? Are there not many trees in the forest with myriad leaves adorning them when really fewer trees could be used? Shrift snorts. Has heaven given you more wealth, he demands. No, but, she says, heaven bestows beauty and grand designs in the world to allow all who stand in their presence time to love and appreciate them. Heaven is not miserly. Should we not be grander and more giving in our writing? Is it not better for a writer's tales to be known for love and largesse than pinched creative pockets? That, says Shrift, is why heaven has no money to give you. Leave artistry to heaven and concentrate on economy and making money. But, she says, the reader of our stories might disagree, says the woman. Less is always better, says Shrift. Always, she asks. Always, says Shrift. Perhaps, she says, readers are sometimes hungry for more. Shrift shakes his bald head. You will not enter the city of writer's gold. Somewhere in my spirit, I feel a dragon awakening, and it is angry. It is as though my heart has begun beating again. But the dragon is dead, I know, for Ferdinand and his friends have told me so. That's all for today, but tune in next episode for more on the dragons of creative writing. I'm Farrell Moore, and I'm your host. Until then, be well.